Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis. This is Chompin' Cannon.
Hi. I'm sorry, Candy.
That's okay. So we are at Nana's. We're at Crypto Nana for LTCs for the eclipse. Everyone's talking about it. The traffic is crazy.
I get to miss school.
Well, we homeschool, so you're not missing anything, buddy.
But we go to co-op on Tuesdays.
We're not going to co-op. We're going to stay here and we're going to homeschool from home. But the traffic is crazy and there's apparently earthquakes everywhere. And I don't know. Is it all a lot of hype for nothing? I don't know. Let's ask Westwood.
What if we have a...
So, hey, why do we have something red? Do you know? Because we R for remember, E for everyone, D for deployed. So on Fridays, we always grab something red, have something red, wear something red.
I don't have anything red. Well, my sour candy.
There you go, your sour candy red. So, all right, everybody. Happy hour.
Could we get an earthquake here?
It's possible. We had some in
Edmond
right before we left. Some small ones. And Jim Willie had one on his latest interview live while he was doing the interview.
I felt one the night before at Dad's. Like, it was very small. I heard it. It was.
It was there. Yeah. All right. So join us in the live chat with the fam right after this. Westwood will be right back with us. Howdy, Westwood.
Hi.
Howdy.
Welcome.
How y'all doing?
Is this the new
We
normal?
are well.
Good.
I think I just muted myself. Don't touch anything.
Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We kind of rigged up a little scene over here.
Yeah, that's chaos.
At Nana's. But it's
all right.
Yeah, it works.
Hey, it's working though.
Yeah.
We can see you and we can hear you.
All right.
Good.
Great. And we can see everybody in the chat. I'm going to start rolling through. Thank you guys for joining us.
Let's roll.
What does that say? Oh, I need my glasses. Aaron Knudsen, maybe?
Wait.
Mr. X. Good to see you. Tom, Mr. X.
No one noticed me.
Talking about the traffic. Honey, this is before we're even on.
What does that mean?
So relax.
There's a lot of trafficking going on. Traffic.
Going on.
Traffic.
Being exposed. Man, they are coming out with all kinds of videos with P. Diddy. There's a great one with Ye or Kanye where he says, he calls them feds.
He says, you fed.
You took the deal. You fed. And because they did something and got locked up and then made a deal. And remember that, like, there's that whole, came out a few years ago about how much that budget is for paying informants. And that also comes out of U.S., taxpayer dollars, or they're going to print more because they need more for other things because we're paying it. I'm just thinking about like how much the U.S. taxpayer has been like literally had no representation in the choices of what was done.
Right.
But we were forced to comply with threats of, it's the only thing that they can take your home. They can put you in jail. We don't have debtor's prison in the U.S. I was told.
Right.
Even people might owe somebody money legally, court ordered, all of that. We do not have what's called debtor's prison. And I'm like, well, how come the IRS can?
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
And as far as peer-to-peer, we don't have debtor's prison. You can't force somebody to pay, what they owe you. However, if it's the IRS, they can take whatever they want from you.
Well, and that's one of the things like with smart contracts, they're great. And I could see where like something has to happen and all that. But we need transparency. We need decentralization, but we also need enforcement. There has to be like.
Right. Justice enforced.
An armed society is a polite society because there's a level of threat or enforcement that will be enacted, And so that part, I believe, is missing in the cryptocurrency world. And I may be.
No, I get it. No, that makes sense. I mean, I guess you could, if the smart contract doesn't fulfill, then there might be a penalty built into it. You could build in, to where if after certain stipulations, then this amount sitting in escrow as insurance, you know what I mean, gets taken. But that has to be predefined, all that.
I guess that would be part of the smart contract is we're entering into this, and I'm trusting you that if you don't fulfill, I'm going to at least get, X
because
my Z. I don't know how that plays
there
out.
are contracts like that, like in buyouts. You think on Wall Street when companies are buying each other out, and it's like, hey, I will buy this company within a year. If I don't, then there's a $10 million penalty or something, and you have to pay it.
Or a company says, yes, I'm worth XYZ, and they say, great, we'll pay for it, but you're promising to perform
all these audits and all the paperwork has to be, you have to prove it, and do all the things. And if you don't, if you lied about it, and there might be a penalty for that. So, I mean, it's basically define what you want.
Yeah. Well, here comes Nana and Kaya. The camera's up there.
Hello.
I know it seems
Hello, Nana and Kaya.
Hi.
Yes, this is Nana's baby dog that goes with her everywhere.
Literally.
Yes.
That's how it goes, though. That's how it works, right?
So, which means the only places I can shop are Tractor Supply, Ace Hardware, Walmart actually puts up with
Well,
me.
what else would you need? I don't know.
Bass Pro. I don't know if you have one of those around there. People take their animals in there all the time.
No, it's too big for this
The
area.
thrift shops.
Yeah, they were fine with
Let's
it.
see where else have we been?
And Mom said she just uses like the crazy old lady thing. She's like, sometimes I just bring her in and it's like, nobody's going to talk to me about it.
Right. Just act like you don't know
Oh,
what
I
you
didn't know.
all over the place.
I kind of seen
Like,
That's crazy. They leave you alone.
well, and these people use the service dog routine. I just say, well, I'm her service people, so
Yes.
she's entitled to a service person.
Yes.
I'm a service human. All right.
Her service human, yes.
Yes. This dog, I've got my license, you pull out your little official card or you wear a little card around your neck or a tag, I'm a service person.
That's what I
Service
should
human.
do.
Yeah, I think I'm a service human.
Her get a t-shirt.
Yes, we'll get
Service human.
Yeah.
I may do that actually. How dare you?
Hey,
And say,
just
do
define
not
yourself
pet.
any way you want.
Yes.
Do
It
not
doesn't
pet.
matter.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's
How I identify. I am a service human.
There you go. Oh man, it's crazy. So
Prove
are
me
you
wrong.
having lots of crazy traffic in your area? Because I know you have one of the crosses near you.
Well, I mean, it's further south. I mean, NBC, I think it was one of the big news stations. They've got a piece on Cairo, Illinois. It's spelled like Cairo, but everybody says Cairo, and that's I think the southernmost town in Illinois. It's at the right at the tip, and there's a couple of rivers that converge. I think it's Missouri and Mississippi or something, or maybe Ohio. I don't know.
Yourself, I think this is another dog.
Maybe.
But it's going over that region. It's actually the intersection of it, the one from 2017, and then this one, it intersects over southern Illinois.
Sorry.
We might have to take
That's
her
all right.
away. I don't know.
I don't know what she sees.
She's either
Oh
like
yeah,
growling
It's
at
okay.
Westwood, or
that could be.
I don't know. Or she sees herself and she's like, "There's
Oh.
another."
Oh,
she's so
that could
pissed
happen.
off
Another-
that these two little dogs are
Another dog in the house.
Another dog in the house.
That's like my little one.
Mm-mm.
Growl at you.
No, it's
Trouble.
crazy.
They have trouble.
So lots of earthquakes lately. I mean, the
Yeah.
biggest one is this. I really should get my glasses.
There was just a second one in New Jersey, I think, just here a little bit ago. The 4.0.
Yeah, and one in New York, one in New Jersey, right?
Well, I think they might have both been centered in New Jersey. I'm not sure. They're so close though, New York City and New Jersey. But they had the one earlier was 4.8, and then they just had a 4.0. I just heard before we went on, like another one.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty
I
good.
saw that one.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
And Jim Willie was saying like, well, I would rather have he was doing an interview and he's like, oh, we're having an earthquake right now. And he's like, oh, but it's pretty short. And he's like, it's better to have a bunch of short ones.
Yeah.
To
Yep.
not have that catastrophic event.
Because it
Right.
does release some of the pressure,
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
of course, the year or so before the Great Madrid fault, or 8.0 or whatever it was, they had lots of earthquakes in the year or so before. So
Wasn't there an eclipse before that? Maybe before that
90
new
days
Madrid?
before there was a solar this type of, I don't know if it's, yeah, because it's about every 200 years. I think, 90 days before that big earthquake was a.
And you were saying,
Solar
Mom,
eclipse.
you and Papa
Great.
were watching a guy named John Moore, of all things.
Yes, years ago. I don't know if he's still around because he's, an older fella, ex-military, I believe. And he's the one that had, he had a video on it. He'd go around talking to people about it, about the Navy map, about that he had met that.
Oh yeah. Was
Navy
it?
person that had access, whether he's setting up chairs maybe for the high brass to have this meeting where the Navy map was shown. And he says, and that's why all these people, including him, retired in the Ozark Mountains, because they felt like that would be, interior and elevated enough to be protected from the
I was
effects.
hoping I had a copy of that map.
Well, I've heard of that, and then also Eastern Kentucky was one of the hot spots to where a lot of them said was like one of the safe zones. Just
Could
on
be,
the western side of the Appalachians, in Eastern Kentucky, that area.
Mhm.
They kind of called out as a safer area
Right.
for when the stuff hits the fan.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling.
I'm trying to find that
Yeah.
map, but I didn't realize it was this far back.
I say Western Kentucky or Eastern Kentucky? Eastern Kentucky, not Western.
Western, is awfully close to the Mississippi
Yeah,
River.
you don't want the Western. Eastern Kentucky.
This is
There
the
it
map.
is. Yeah.
And what's very interesting is my husband had somebody who works for him or used to work for him. And he called him the other day, and he's former military. And he said, I was on a warship or a ship and went into the war room. And this was the largest map on the wall. And he's like, hey, man, you've got, do you have everything you need to protect your family? Blah, 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 blah. And called just not too long ago.
Really?
I'm not putting panic on anybody.
Well,
It's
I mean,
just-
it
coincides with Edgar Casey's
That was the other
Earth changes predictions. The Navy map does. So
So
that's
tell them
kinda
about that.
interesting.
So Edgar Casey is another, was he a prophet
He,
or?
Sleeping
he was
prophet.
a medium, basically. I mean, he would, go into this like trance, and then he would, people ask him questions, and it was mostly health matters. And then he'd wake up and he didn't remember a thing of what he said, but he was highly accurate apparently. But he also did these earth changes predictions.
Yep.
And who knows?
And he was seeing the flooding in the plains or a split
Mhm.
and having to do with volcanoes or
No,
that's
the Mount Etna.
The
He
Mount
said one of
Etna.
the signs that would precede the big earthquakes and all would be the Mount Etna erupting. Of course, it does little stuff from time to time,
Right.
but I guess
It's
this would,
blowing smoke rings today, right?
I guess it's going to be.
or the smoke rings something else, and the smoke is highlighting the things, the rings. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the question, I guess. You really, when you look
I
at it,
think maybe it's going to it's not just erupting, but it's going to cause a lot of damage. And then, that's the predecessor to the big stuff. Who knows?
and it makes you wonder you could go one way as, hey, it always happens on Earth, these cycles, they come back and, you have disruptive periods. And then
Mhm.
now we have modern weapons and technology, and it makes you think, okay, is there a self-fulfilling prophecy being pushed out,
Pizza's ready.
Oh,
Nana's cooking for Cannon. So
Nana eats.
Nana eats.
Nana Uber eats.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting time that we're in. And is this another 10-4 nothing burger? Is
Right.
this a lot of hype? And we're gonna, everybody, I think it's great that everybody got gas and food in those areas that we're
Is it
gonna have
another
high
Y2K
traffic.
thing?
Yeah, because and if there's just a
No.
lot of people in the area that there's not enough food, and we ran out of gas because our supply is.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If that happened and you got all these people dislocated along this belt of, totality, I guess you could say, and don't have a full tank of gas and they can't get back home and they're stuck, because of something happened and there's a disruption, bridge gets hit by a barge or something, who knows?
Never know. Or a bridge that was hit formerly by a barge might, give way, or a dam. Didn't Uncle Cliff said something the other day, and he's something about a dam, the water. People weren't watching because I thought, it's okay because the thing hit or something hit a dam or something was affecting the dam. And he was but he was watching the water go over the dam, and the little drips were eroding the base or underneath like the dam. And that was the real danger.
The
But
real
they were like,
issue.
oh, it's fine. Look, it's intact. It's fine. And then it was like by the time the base was eroded,
Too late.
the
Just
whole
collapsed.
dam came down and it just flooded and it was too late. And I don't know if he
Yeah.
was talking about a future event or I can't remember now. But
See, that's what bothers me. It's always worried me about moving certain places because I've always thought Missouri's probably a pretty good place to move. But I mean, they've got those lakes that are all dammed up, and I think, man, what happens if those things give way? Because everything fails eventually, And you just think, ugh, put yourself right there next to that, and that thing lets go. I mean, oh boy, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the dam.
yeah, there was also some strange things like Charlie and I've been noticing as we go, like we like to go to like rural estate sales or go out to smaller towns and stuff because that's where you get the good old stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. But as we've been doing that and taking little day trips and whatever, we've been noticing a lot of infrastructure being rebuilt, almost like remember the Disney movie Cars, where they tried to or they were educating people. I think a lot of people didn't know that, Route 66 used to helped build America, was the automobile and people traveling and then stopping at these little towns and visiting towns and engaging with local businessmen. And then the big highways came in.
Yeah.
And all
big
of a sudden,
interstates.
the interstate.
They pick the winners and losers with the exits where they go.
Right. And exactly. And so, but it looks like a lot of the infrastructure back into and diverting traffic to some of the small towns is being rebuilt. I mean, in a significant way. Like, I'm not talking about the same 2-lane highway. I'm talking about like 5 lanes or a divided highway with double lanes on each side. Really interesting kind of stuff. And I thought it was just in our area, but it's happening over here in Mom's area as well. As we're kind of driving around and seeing that kind of stuff. So I'm wondering if you guys are watching this, let me know if you're out in like your rural areas, are you seeing some of that? Also, a friend of ours is in Alaska and he said they were pulling up the culverts on some of the highways. And I don't know if that's part of the, redoing things, redoing the infrastructure, or if that's some things, there are going to be changes and some things are going to flood. And so just get the, whatever out of there because we're going to have to rebuild over on this high end. They've also been featuring the Corps of Engineers a lot on the Army website. Sorry, Charlie got earphones on. He can't hear a thing. This is
right
at Nana's. Just everybody's going to be noisy. I just have to let it go.
In a top secret location in Arkansas.
Yes.
Not missing anything.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty restful and a beautiful view. I didn't give you guys the view today, but
Lots of nothing to do now.
we'll
You have to go back and watch another episode to see the view.
yes, watch other episodes or go watch Nana's feed for lots of pretty pictures. We had dogs bouncing around yesterday, so
Yeah.
that was good.
You still have the chickens, Nana?
I'm down to 4 and one's a
4?
cripple.
Oh.
One broke her leg and
We don't call names.
I had to feed her. I kept her, she wanted to step in the nest. So I just brought her kale water and, feed. And now the last couple of days she comes out and hops around and I guess she'll make it.
She's going to make it.
Yeah.
But there's a new pecking order, which is interesting.
Yeah. She was dominant before. She's not so dominant now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big red one, big Rhode
Change
Island.
the game changer, that leg.
Mhm. The little white ones picking on her
Right.
now.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what they say about
Well,
those
you
white
know
ones.
Yeah. White privilege.
White
Yeah, that's it. White privilege.
Taking over the hen yard.
Been watching. I always like the dark meat myself, but anyway,
Oh gosh,
juicier.
so crazy. Yeah, the world is so crazy.
What are you doing, girl?
I don't know. There's so much to talk about, I guess. I was really excited about Narioff being featured on the James O'Keefe. And I guess there's going to be a multi-part series. They just started and did kind of an introduction, what's going on. They asked Vitalik and Joe Lubin and Ethereum Foundation, I guess, for comment. They have not responded to that time. Maybe they will in the future. but it's very interesting to see where all that goes together.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a bad vibe about that stuff. That could
Bye-bye
go,
Ethereum.
yeah, it could go south, and I don't know. I
You
mean,
know, there still is Ethereum Classic.
absolutely, which
I don't know
is
how
the real Ethereum if you think about it.
Right, and it's proof of work.
Yep.
And you know, Uncle Cliff had this thing about when everything goes to zero, only a few coins come back. Well,
Yeah.
maybe that's Ethereum Classic, Bitcoin Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash.
I've always resonated with Ethereum Classic for some reason. I don't know why, but I've always kind of seen that as I don't know, maybe it's the green color, the Irish in me. But no, it's no. I always thought Ethereum Classic. There's something to it, and I don't know what, but it's just kind of my.
You know why the government doesn't like Ethereum Classic?
Because why is that?
No.
Proof of work.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you've got a proof.
They don't work. Government
now.
don't work. But that was my bad joke. My bad crypto joke.
Pretty good, really.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I heard a joke today, but I'm not going to tell it.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah, he won't do that. That's a late night.
Now we know.
Not a family-friendly one.
Try to keep it clean here on Happy Hour.
Okay.
Just drinking and smoking only.
That's right.
Yeah, just drinking and needling a
Drinking,
little bit.
smoking, and cussing.
Cigars and whiskey.
Cigars, whiskey. Yeah, well, you got beer, so I'm good. You know, I get a little beer. So
there you go. You're
light.
yeah.
And hot old women.
Hot women, hot older ladies.
Hot old women. Yes.
You know, spring chicken.
Oh, I'm bother. Oh my gosh. Okay, Nana's.
Well, when you start seeing Carly and Jenna around, it makes you realize.
Yeah. And Nana. Oh, breaking news! Breaking news! Nana is about to be a great grandmother.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
My sister. Yeah, Nana's oldest child. My oldest sister. My older sister. I'm the next one. I'm the middle child. Her son is having a baby, or his wife is having a baby. They're having a baby together. So super exciting family news.
It is exciting.
Well, that's great. Congratulations.
Great grandma. I'll be a great aunt.
Yeah.
Great aunt. You're a great aunt.
I'll be
How could you not be?
a darn good aunt.
Yes, you will. You're always the aunt that's the most fun.
Yes, that's right. I can come pick them up in hot cars and take them to have cell phones and
get them in trouble. No, not trouble.
That's right.
Start some trouble, then drop them off.
That's right.
All right, I'm out of here.
That's how we do it. What else is big news? Big news. Big news.
Yeah, like you said, the earth shaking, that kind of stuff. The tsunami, almost tsunami. You know, Japan got a little bit of it from Taiwan.
Oh, that's
Nothing
right.
huge.
Taiwan,
but,
I think.
Yeah,
Taiwan, 9 people were killed, I think.
4-point-something earthquake.
Well, it was 7. It was
No,
over
it was
7 in
7 something
Taiwan.
in
Oh, was it
Taiwan.
over 7? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
9 deaths and 1,000 injuries.
My
something.
friend's son.
You see the buildings, like looking like the Leaning Tower.
That's what she
Ooh.
said. She said that there are several buildings down and more that are uncertain. He was safe. He's in Taiwan, and he's military. And but she said it's very eerie, and everyone's kind of on edge. So
I can see that. I can see why. I saw one video where the freaking rooftop swimming pool. You see the water flowing over the side of the building as it's shaking. I'm thinking, oh,
wow.
man. Then I saw a picture. Well, there was a guy in one of them, you know, and he's going like this. I can't even imagine being on a rooftop
Trying not
swimming
to
pool.
fall off the top of the
I
building.
mean, just try not to puke. Oh my gosh, I would lose it. I would absolutely lose it.
Yeah. No, the whole bridge thing. I got issues with that anyway. Going over bridges. The two recurring nightmares that I've always had throughout my life are teeth dreams, like cracking and crumbling teeth, and then also going over bridges.
So you know, mine is I have the one where I fly off the earth. We have no gravity of like.
Ugh.
I have no weight in my body, and I'm like.
You got Nibiru coming by and just ripping the face of the earth off, and there you go. Gravitational pull.
There's 2. So we're live on my channel, Litecoin Lisa, and then we're live on Clint West. So if you're not seeing a lot of people in the chat, you're only seeing.
Get on Lisa's channel.
Thank you for the bubbles. Whoever did
balloons.
birthday bubbles.
Balloons, bubbles.
Did you see that?
I saw the bubbles. I
Yeah,
don't know what
balloons.
happy birthday balloons just went by.
Kind of cool.
Maybe somebody was celebrating the baby or something. I don't know how that happened,
I don't know.
but that was nice.
Pretty neat.
Thank you. Also strange.
It's the magic internet.
It's the our magical internet friends.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, you might try if you want to be in the chat more, but I'm trying to catch up with everybody so everybody can see, and it doesn't matter what channel you're on. So you'll see everybody's comments.
It's all good. Yeah, if you want to see the chat, go to Lisa's channel, the lovely Litecoin Lisa,
Congratulations.
her YouTube channel, and you can see everybody. Otherwise, you'll be like me talking to myself all the time, just not in the Digibug.
But it's so great. I love it.
Good times.
What was the latest rant about?
I find it a little bit interesting. I just made a note. I jotted it down before the show, and it started with planes. You know, we had all the plane issues. All of a sudden, they just all, you know, wheels and all this falling off. I mentioned it last week, and then we had the bridges. Had a couple of bridges, and now we got earthquakes. It's like,
Just stay home.
what's next? You know, it's not all at once. It's like, okay, today we're going to do airplanes. All right, you got it. You know, they're in their planning room. Okay, we got to do some stuff to some airplanes. You know, for whatever reason. So everybody shorts Boeing, and then we can buy it. Something like that, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, and then the bridges. You know, we need some infrastructure money or something. Let's knock some bridges down. You know, and then now we've got earthquakes. So.
But Biden said that we're going to pay for it and we're going to rebuild it.
We're going to build back. I know we're going to build it all. We're going to pay for it all. I'm like, what?
And somebody was like, what happened to the boat's insurance?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but we've got mechanisms for this, don't we?
All this. Why
Somebody's at fault. So
build it back?
Probably bankrupt.
Well, and then who has those contracts?
Right.
Oh,
There you go. Right.
Speaking of which, apparently Ripple, not XRP. XRP is the token. Let's be clear.
Mhm.
Ripple is the company.
Mm-hmm.
Ripple announced that they are coming out with or creating a new stable coin.
Mm-hmm.
All alongside, there's other announcement, which may or may not have anything to do with it, with a bunch of the central banks coming together, like France and a bunch of the ones that are not in BRICS.
EU.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that all of this is happening at the same time. But what happens to XRP if
right?
And not only that, but they're already talking an ETF for that stable coin in Ripple, and BlackRock's putting in a bid on April 12th. I'm like,
I think so. Yeah.
That went fast.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like it's already planned, already figured out.
Pretty much. I get that sense more and more that everything's rolling out just according to plan, you know, when it needs, according to a timeline. That's my sense right now. That everything's kind of happening, and we're watching it accelerate. And I would think so. I would think that you'd have to get a lot of this implemented because, you know, you do have possible election and, you know, different people move in, you know, move out, you know, depending upon the outcome of the election. So I would think that you want to ramp things up and get it all done while you can, while you have the strings of power, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I just feel like everything's just rolling out like it needs to, according to plan.
Mm. Who's playing though?
Well, that's it. I don't know.
Exactly.
That's where.
So
Yeah.
build our little sanctuaries and prepare, and you know, that's all you can do.
It's really interesting. It's a crazy time to be living in and thinking about, and it also helps you prioritize like what's really important, where you spend your time, who you engage in your life, what you give your energy to, like you talk about all the time, Westwood.
100%.
Those are some big questions right now, and what really has value, like long term.
Right.
What's going to sustain your family and those you love. So.
Yep.
Are you looking at notes or reading the chat?
No, I'm reading the chat.
Okay.
It's kind of looking down, catching up here a little bit. Interesting. Light Shadow says, next, disappearances of world leaders. Hey, it wouldn't surprise me.
That
was kind of seeing a little bit of that coming.
That was in some of the crypto viewing.
Oh, was it?
If I'm giving that away.
Well,
I am on Ed Reardon's pay-per-view, or what's it called? Not pay-per-view. Patreon. And I think it was on that. Maybe it wasn't on that. I don't want to say anything that was like not public, but they were talking about, maybe it was just on Dick Allgire's crypto
Well,
viewing.
remember there was the thing with Cliff about Suicide Weekend.
Yeah, this was more like walk of shame of like seeing them arrested, like public.
Well, today Cliff
And, you know,
posted one where they were this health ministry person in some country. I can't remember now.
I did see that, Cliff.
Did
actually.
you see it? People were like,
Yeah.
calling him names and going after him, and he needed protection. He had to have a.
You know what?
Where they
I've
beat
always
up
said that's
Dr.
what needs to
Oz.
happen. They need to have. They need to be shamed, and they need to not be able to be comfortable. You know, wherever they're so comfortable in their existence in this bubble, this ivory tower. They think their actions have no consequences, but there are consequences. And I always said, I just kind of boil it down to: you think you're going to have a nice steak dinner at a nice restaurant on Friday night? Well, guess what? We're not going to let you do that. You're not going to enjoy yourself, and we're going to make your life a little difficult.
Victims are going to be starting to get wise.
Well, and I saw a video where like somebody beat the crap out of Dr. Oz, and then they were on there, and I was like, oh, is that part of the? Oh, that's the other thing. I don't think I've told you yet because I just found out this on Tuesday. One of my friends, her husband runs is like one of the administrators or runs a bunch of these hospitals, like a group of them. And they had a meeting with their accounting or whatever, and insurance has stopped paying over 5 weeks ago and is not there's no payments being made by insurance back to the doctors. So I don't know, have the lawsuits come through, or do they know have they been shut down? Are they complicit? I don't even know what that means. Everybody should think for themselves. Sorry about all the dogs barking. Charlie's up with food.
I don't know. I mean, if you think about,
they're
for a long
getting paid, so they're billing people. Like if you come in, they're billing you and they're billing your insurance, but they're not getting paid on their insurance.
Your insurance says, maybe we'll pay you. And see, this is what ticks me off. These doctors that don't take cash as payment and give you a discount, and they say, oh, well, if you have this insurance, it'd be 50% less because we have a deal with them. Well, I'll tell you what, 75%, or actually, how about you give me a 75% discount? And I'll pay you 25% of the bill, and you'll get it right now. And guess what? You don't have to wait for these insurance companies to screw you. You're actually going to get something now, at least benefit me. But they don't. They got all these contracts, all this crap. That's part of the problem. It's all rigged. It's all ridiculous. It's not a real market.
Yeah.
That was my mini rant.
But it's also, to me, everything's going peer to peer. So if you look at what happened in the real estate market, where MLS or the people that run MLS got sued, and they're like, we don't get to negotiate the deal. People, if you're selling a house, you want to use a realtor, then you're gonna negotiate a fee. But then, and if a buyer is buying a house, then they're going to negotiate a fee with a realtor if they want their help. But the seller doesn't get to say what the fee is that the buyer's paying in the deal. So
because that was always the deal. Basically, there's a lot of fat in the system to where all these costs get built into the price of a house. And I've sold a few houses on my own and just did my own contract, and it's just, I used a realtor maybe once, and you can do it yourself. You really can. Instead, I don't know. They have more reach because they get, the information out there and more people to see it. But all it takes is one person to buy the house. So I don't know. The whole realtor thing, I'm like, yeah.
Well, and now with smart contracts, we don't need as many. Like
that's something that could go away.
Yeah, and that includes representatives. Like in the past, the U.S. was so big, and people needed a representative to travel to D.C. to have their voice heard. We needed all these middlemen because we didn't have things like smart contracts, and to be able to be represented in our own capacity with our own, as long as our identities verified with keeping our privacy. Yeah,
and that's the key. And I guess that's the thing, that certain blockchains can take care of. You do have things like DigiID that can do that. But on the other side of it, I see it as a tool to where I think they'll try and use it in a nefarious way, to hang on to their control and ID everybody and everything you do so they can track and trace everything. But again, it comes down to it's a tool. We got to use it for our benefit rather than theirs. The hope I have is it's gotten so big that it can't sustain itself that much longer. And even Cliff talked about that, going back to what we talked about earlier, to where all that money for these honeypot guys like P. Diddy and Epstein, Hefner, all these guys that are on the till, it's going to get to a point where you can't even pay them enough anymore because the money's collapsing so bad. And yeah, we'll print up trillions of dollars, but at some point they're going to say, I'm not going to work for you anymore and do your bidding because, it really doesn't matter, this money that you're creating and paying me with. And so hopefully we're at that point where that whole system's falling apart, that bribery system starts to fall apart because people realize this money's garbage. I don't want any of that, especially now that you've got things like Bitcoin in the limelight, gold rising. Maybe people will start demanding, hey, I want a real asset. If you're going to buy me off and bribe me, you're going to have to pay me in a suitcase full of silver or something,
Mm-hmm. So, oh gosh, I just had a thought and then I got distracted. I don't know if we're allowed to share news. I'll let their other family share news first. But congrats to people in the chat that we love very much on their happy occasion. And then let's see. So when you were saying getting bribed anymore, is when Cat Williams, a lot of videos are coming out with him and him saying what he's been saying for years and like outing Oprah, outing a lot of these guys. There's a video of Mike Tyson with that P. Diddy, and P. Diddy's trying to put his hand under Mike Tyson's butt, and Mike Tyson's like grabs his hand and he goes, "It's all about the Benjamins," and he throws his hand away and then he gets away from him and turns away. And
there's a few other videos with other people around P. Diddy too, to where they're like, no, because they know what he's doing, and it's kind of like an open secret.
Well, and I guess Cat Williams had said the number was 500 million. I'm like, okay, well, approximately, I don't know what that is in their world, how much money that is in like the elites world. Right. But to us, that's like unimaginable.
Yeah, it is a lot of money.
And then if you look at what is our actual inflation versus what inflation, they say inflation is like 9% last year, but I'm telling you, in my family's pocketbook and groceries and getting by, it was over 20%.
Right. For the things you need, it's going to cost. If you want to get a TV, okay, fine, you don't have inflation. Right. But if you want to get some food to eat, so you can sit in front of the TV and eat, it's a lot more.
And sometimes, in some cases, almost 40%.
Yeah, and you get garbage in return. I mean, you don't even get healthy food, Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that's really interesting to see how that plays out.
I think that's going to be one of the next big things, to where food production, it already is, but maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but having a good source of food production, because you see what they're doing to the cattle, trying to put all these things in it. I mean, we saw Chick-fil-A last week just announced, well, we used to brag about having non-hormonal chicken, and not shooting it up with anything, but they took that off the table now, where they're not even saying that they're going to have chickens that aren't injected with stuff.
That's concerning.
Yeah. I mean, because that was always one of the restaurants that you thought, oh, well,
safe eating at. Yeah.
But I mean, they even said it. So, I mean, you got to look at the food supply and you got to look at what's going into it. I mean, with all the, the things that they're putting in there, and you're going to ingest that in your body. I think I think you'll see a lot of boutique farms start to spring up.
I know
as we
we're going to go to the farmer's market tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
If we can get out of the
them.
Yeah.
Or down the hill.
Well, I don't know if the local one's open, and I really don't think I want to go downtown Fort Smith.
Oh, no. I would only go.
They may not.
Maybe not this weekend.
Yeah, start till May. I'll have to look it up.
I don't know. We were planning on it, and then we tried to go to Ace Hardware, and we barely got down the mountain. And as soon as we hit the main road through town, we just got in line. And then it was.
I've never seen traffic like that. Yeah,
through multiple lights.
It's all these people for the eclipse,
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Hopefully they don't get stuck there. Now you got to deal with them.
Oh, we don't have to deal with them. We have deterrents.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's good.
They're not coming here.
Don't come up the hill, okay?
Yeah, don't come up the hill.
No.
It won't end for you.
Yeah. Put it
So Josh Lake says by the way, Paige and I got engaged
Oh, yay!
for Easter for real.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Woo, I love it.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
Mr. and Miss, future Mr. and Mrs.
Two wonderful people. Yeah.
Love you guys. And
I
that's
already-
where the future brings a lot of hope, because
It
these
does.
young couples have different values, and like they're talking about, well, we're in this small space. Well, how can we still be sustainable until we can get in a different space? They're like, talking about having quail in apartments, and when the Pebbleton Post will rise again. Don't let anybody fool you.
Oh, I think so.
And had a lot of great information, and they were really bringing resources to people.
May 4th, so they're not going to
Okay, not tomorrow. Okay, well, we want.
There's always a way, and I guess that's the thing. No matter how dark it looks, there's always a way. You just look to those things that are healthy. And I had this conversation with Mitch today a little bit. It's there's a lot of distractions out there. There's a lot of things out there, but if you look back to the real stuff, and I'm looking out because I got the door open. I'm looking at the tall green grass that's growing. Needs to be mowed. But you look at all the beauty that there is and what it produces. And if we can get back to that point, there's always a way to survive, because, the earth has so much abundance that don't let them deceive you into thinking that it doesn't. Nana, that firsthand, what kind of abundance you can have from a few seeds,
Yes.
or a beehive. It takes work, but
Take some work. Yeah.
it will provide, and there are ways to kind of opt out if you really want to. And, there's a lot of land out there. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of, even in an apartment, there's a lot of ways to grow food. You can sprout seeds, and, there's always a way. And we just have to look at it that way, and just got here. I don't know how long we've been on this planet, but we've got to where we're at, in the midst of all the stuff they've tried to do to kill us off, and we're still going. So, I mean, don't get discouraged. There's always a way forward. And, it's beautiful that, you got two beautiful people coming together, getting married with Josh and Paige. And then first thing in my mind is, waiting for those babies, just like Lisa's thinking, when those babies going to come, that new blood, that new DNA, out there, they're the same DNA, out there, the good DNA getting, out onto this planet. That's the hopeful thing.
Yeah, and a new start, and brings hope and the thoughts of the future and all of that. And if you embrace, now we have Bitcoin, so that's the other thing. Like,
yeah, it's a different world.
Yes, we're talking about how history has been changed. And you guys, I don't know if you saw my Twitter this week from school. The history lesson is a total indoctrination vibe. Like, I'm really struggling with it. I just told Cannon we're not gonna. I'll give you the prize or whatever to not learn that, because I think it's important to know what they teach the normies, so we're talked about it.
It's like the enemy game plan. They put it right in front of you so you can see it.
Two airplanes flew into buildings and crashed them on 9/11. And then one airplane flew into the Pentagon, and one flew into a field in Pennsylvania. And I was like,
and then one flew into Building 7 and brought it down.
They didn't talk about Building 7. They're not even going like full narrative. It's like, if you're going to go all the way, let's go all the way. And
let's look at the whole picture.
But so I was like, yeah, we'll talk about it at home. We'll look at different things. We'll look at videos, educate ourselves. And then, but it's important to know what that old history was. But now with blockchain, we can see the real history. And that's like, if you guys aren't following Boring Sleuth on Twitter, go follow Boring Sleuth. He has on-chain data showing things about Ericsson Telecom and connections with Sweden and the Hillary Foundation, and all the branches, and how it all connects, and how they've been moving information, data, which data is. Remember when Cliff said that like data will be the new money?
Yeah.
That's what we're coming to realize, is that like the fiat is dying, because what were they paying for? They're paying for the information. You were the product on Facebook. They were paying for they
wanted your energy. They wanted your information that you produce, and your time and all that.
Right. So if you retain your data and your IP and your thoughts, and oh my gosh, I saw this horrible thing. I don't know if it's true or not, but this guy did like a video and he showed a patent supposedly AirPods have put in for a patent to do, you know how they had those mind thought or brain, they could read your brain waves or read your mind or whatever with like a whole kind of cap. Well, I guess they've
Like Back to the Future, you know, when Marty shows up, he puts the helmet on and says, don't tell me, what are you, I'm going to tell you what you're thinking. You know, anyway.
Well, so they don't need those. Apparently they just have gotten it down to the ear pod. And so if they're collecting, remember that every phone, they found out when people put Alexas in their home and then somebody found out, wait a minute, there's a micro or a speaker. Wait, a microphone.
Yeah, they're listening all the time. Just say, hey, Alexa.
Yeah, I thought these were just speakers for our home to have music in our home. Why is there a microphone in there? Oh, because they're listening all the time.
Absolutely. Goes
These
both ways.
AirPods have possibly are capable of listening to your thoughts. And when I say listening to your thoughts, I don't know if that means capturing brain waves.
Probably the frequency of the waves of brain.
The electricity of
where it's coming from.
Right. But then they pattern that. It's probably like a Morse code of some kind.
Yeah, I'm sure it's some algorithm.
A new alphabet. Yeah. I don't know. But this should scare the hell out of everybody. Everybody go.
Trust me, there are times where I'm just, all right, I'm done. I'm totally turning everything off and disconnecting. I go through those moments to where, yeah, it might happen.
If we reset to Starlink or I was even thinking about, you know, those helium miners where it's even better than Starlink or something that's centralized, you know, even Starlink is centralized. So then, whoa, hail mighty Elon, you know, that still makes us vulnerable and not in possession of our own data or move our energy around. But if you have something like a helium miner where you can turn it on and off when you want to use it or have access and you can send your data.
Think about the beginning of the internet, you know, DARPANet, you know, whatever they called it. There are devices out there now to where you can buy them. And I mean, I can put devices on my house. I do have devices on my house that have Wi-Fi to where I'm out, I'm mowing the grass, I can listen to it, but I'm connected to the broader internet to pull that down. But those devices can go peer to peer. And there's places out here like big green bins to where there are internet service companies where they have wireless antennas. So if you're like, you know, 3 miles away, you put line of sight, you put yours up and you're connecting back to it. And in that instance, you're connecting to their network that then feeds your internet, you know, back to you. But you could do that without internet and have your own like mini internet of individual people to where you're not on the broader internet connected to all things. You're just connected peer to peer. And you can build those networks, you know, outside of, you know, their system and put those things in to where it's almost like ham radio, you know, with data, you know, you can transfer that energy back and forth and communicate outside of, you know, because we think internet, that's because we're connected to the world. But think about it, you know, where I'm at, okay, I connect to Mitch's, I connect to my neighbor, I connect to that neighbor, and we're communicating and we're messaging and we can do all these things, show videos. And it's just like the internet, it's just, we got a mini internet of us. You know, and that can broaden out to where it's peer to peer all over.
Like a digital sock.
Yeah. I mean, that can be done now. But they've made it easy because, you know, they put the billions into the infrastructure and it's so easy to say, well, I just get a phone, I get a cell connection, okay, I'm good. You know, but then they monitor everything you say and have all your chats and all your phone calls and everything.
Everything.
Yes. They have it all. Let's just hope the good guys have it all too, right?
Yes,
100%. And use it.
So they can see.
Oh, this was the other one. Okay, hold on.
They can see.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Oh,
we're going down rabbit holes, Cannon.
Relax.
It's okay.
Okay, I wanted to play this video. This was really so you guys know my dad started teaching me about the American flag and what it means in the military before he left and everything. And he taught me about so we've been flying a war flag for, he said, his whole life. He died at 90. And a peace flag is when the flag is like this, when the stripes are
facing down,
up and down. Yeah, up and down, running up and down.
Horizontally.
No, that's vertical.
Oh, vertical.
Horizontal is like the horizon. Vertical.
Vertical.
Look, we just homeschooled. Right in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when they're vertical, that's the peace flag when it hangs up and down. So a lot of times you'll see like Trump speaking, whatever, and the flag is down behind him. I think that's a lot of that peace flag. He's the most peaceful president ever. We'll see what happens. I believe he's commander in chief, but we'll see. This is very disturbing. You know how earlier this week I did "We Are Not Okay," and because I was discussing with a good friend of mine, like he goes, you need to go out there and turn your flag upside down. And I was like, what does that mean? He said that means distress.
You're in distress. It's upside down flag. Yeah.
So can you guys see this? If this guy
upside down on a Navy ship.
no, they won't. So beautiful as you lie there as a princess caresses the peace. What is that noise? Going with her car will keep her safe. Okay, I don't know what that music is, but it says very alarming.
The stars are switched. They're
Yes,
upside down.
the flag is upside down.
That means there's distress. It's like a signal of, I don't know the exact history of it. I'm sure somebody, can go back. But I mean, essentially, if that's flying upside down at a fort or something, or the ship, that's a signal that, hey, we're in trouble. We need help. It's like,
Yeah,
something's not right.
Somebody said, oh gosh, no, how weird. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can get to the original comments. Okay, when an American flag is flown upside down on a naval ship, it's generally considered a distress signal. The practice is a recognized international maritime signal. We're moving out of maritime law, I believe, indicating that the ship or its crew is in imminent danger or requires urgent assistance. Flying the flag upside down is a symbolic way of communicating distress, and it signals to other vessels or authorities that immediate action may be needed to ensure the safety of the ship and its crew. It's important to note that the signal should only be used in genuine emergency situations, as it is a serious communication of distress.
Wow.
Yep.
So, help may be coming soon. I don't know.
Hell.
And somebody in the chat, it was Amor Style Tarot, said, is that video current? Is that video AI generated? I mean, who knows? It could be.
We don't know.
We don't know. But it is.
Is it all of those things, but still sending a message about what's true and happening? And
yeah, I mean, you just gave a good lesson of what it means. So if somebody sees it in real life, be like, oh, okay, so something's not right. That's essentially what it means. There's a problem.
No, you don't have to get a license to use ham radio.
I think you can listen. I mean, but I think to send, you might have to have a ham license. But I don't think you have to take a test anymore.
Okay.
I don't think. But that's an option. I mean, that's an option that you could use. There's a lot of ways to be able to communicate that are out there. CB radio, just go get a CB, and that's got a limited distance. You could have a citizens band radio, and you could talk to each other that way. And if you got a big antenna, outside your house, you can communicate. It just doesn't have the range that ham has. But maybe some things to start thinking about, huh?
Yeah. Well, or being able to send. I was thinking, like, if you couldn't.
Or smoke signals, we can send those, like Mount Etna. Oh, I'm Mount Etna right now.
You're all Mount Etna in it.
Mount Etna.
Mount Westwood. Mom and I have had trouble communicating for a while with, like, I could call her or she could text me, but she couldn't call me, like, kind of all these kind of crazy things. And be careful with her.
I know.
Okay. And so, if we ever had to get a message to each other, and that's where, like, Bitcoin, Litecoin is a messaging system, and you can send it over radio. And now with that announcement of Mimblewimble on the mobile wallet, when does that go? Is that
almost ready? It's in heavy testing right now, okay. So it's legit testing, and I would imagine by the time the Litecoin Summit comes in July 24th and 25th in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm expecting that there will be an announcement of a rollout on one wallet, maybe more than one wallet, because there's a lot of interest and a lot of wallets out there that are freedom oriented that definitely want to implement that. And that's a big deal. I mean, it really is, having, money that you can opt, into privacy. So you have the option to make it, on the blockchain, completely transparent, and this is where it is. You can watch it go. Oh, they're watching the rabbits play out here. Sorry, dogs are. Having that ability to do that and opt into it, because privacy. You got curtains on your house and locks on your doors. Why wouldn't you want to do the same thing with money that you transfer to other people? Your energy. Privacy is important.
Sorry, I was waiting for Mom's dog to stop drinking.
It was making a cleaning sound.
She was ringing
Wrap
the
it up.
ringing the bell.
Was it Kaya?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dinging the bell and she was drinking water.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. Just a lot of
I want to do
crazy
the
things.
outro with you.
Okay, we're not doing it yet. He's like wants me to get off of here. I'm like, well, that's nice. Not too bad. Anything else, Westwood?
Jim says, what are we going to be talking about Tuesday? Because the big event passes. It's hard to say.
Are we going to be able to talk Tuesday?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
One of my friends
Telepathy.
her car was having trouble with all the digital stuff, and she sent a video to Charlie to see if he could help, and I can't remember what he called it.
She okay?
Something was wrong. Yeah, she's fine.
Her car isn't.
But she's starting to have electrical problems with her car, and that's another thing I thought. Okay, because the Mother of All Dragons comet is supposed to be seen at the same time. So like the eclipse will be here, and then like the Mother of All Dragons, also called the Devil comet, will be visible at the same time. And then they were talking about sometimes it's what's the difference between a comet and I went down this whole rabbit hole.
A meteor, an asteroid, a comet.
Yes. And so meteors can cause this sound or vibration. And I don't know if you remember, I think it was towards the end of last year that people were like, oh, there's this humming or creaking or moaning sound in my neighborhood and we don't know what it is. And it would go on,
Yeah.
We don't need the explanation example, but thank you. Yes. And so they were saying that could have been a meteor. Wow. So if we have an eclipse at the same time, the Mother of All Dragons, and this is the dragon year,
we may
right?
die.
No, it might be a good thing.
Wood dragon, I think.
Starting
it's
back
wood
up.
Dragon.
Yes, it's a wood dragon. They're starting CERN back up, and I've heard or been hearing that the good guys are in charge of CERN now, that it's been taken over and it will be used for good, not evil. Because remember, any tool is just a tool. It can be used for good or evil.
Yep. Definitely.
And so there's the CERN thing, the comet, the eclipse, and NASA is shooting 3 weird serpent rockets into the sky at the same time.
What? Mm-hmm. Serpent rocket?
That's what they called them. I don't know. I just work
Surprised?
here.
Or no?
There's just a lot going on.
Chaos.
Or is it beautiful destruction that will bring
will we get to see
tell us what's going on in Fortnite right now?
Wait, okay. But will it all happen at the same time?
I don't know.
Or around the same
I
time?
don't know. We're going to find out.
Okay. Wait, Fortnite?
Do you want to tell them what's going on in Fortnite right now?
What are the Fortnite memes? What are the messaging that's going on?
Well,
The latest update is.
so we just got a new season about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And the theme is Greek mythology.
Ah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so it brought Hades, Zeus, Aphrodite, Artemis.
Poseidon.
Yes, Poseidon, Ares,
Yeah.
Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
I think one more.
Pandora.
Well, there's Pandora's box.
Pandora's box.
Which is being held up by a big hand.
It's dropped now.
Well, I know it's dropped now,
It's
but I'm
closed
catching
and the
them
hand
up.
is dead.
Okay. So
But it might come back with the
it
crow.
was wrapped in chains, and the whole community come together to break the chain.
Well, of course, we got to open it and see what's in it, right?
Right, which dropped the
What can
hand,
go
And it
wrong?
released the Greek mythology.
and it released all this Greek mythology,
And now,
which is the gods, right?
so Zeus is mad at us for breaking the box and releasing all this, so he wants to kill everyone on the island.
Well, that sucks.
But I'm hoping this happens.
Okay.
It was one of my favorite seasons. So back in chapter 3, season 4, right before we entered chapter 4, the Herald,
which she's the chrome herald,
so
the silver,
the cube queen,
surfer.
the queen of the cubes,
the queen of the cubes.
She sent the
There you go.
Herald to come destroy the island.
Mhm.
And
If you don't know what the cubes are, go look into the cubes. There are cubes on Melania's dress, that Alexander McQueen dress. Also, the original cube was good, And remember when they brought that big gold cube into New York
There's a
as an
gold
art?
cube in
Of course,
Fortnite.
there's a gold cube in our
and a
Fortnite.
blue cube.
And then there's a black cube so then the evil ones also mirror because think no tool is good or evil. It's
So you
just
got to think about the black cube and how that folds into the
Right.
Kabbalah, and all that,
right.
know.
So then they create, but the good
Yeah.
one was first, and then they created the black cube and the Kabbalah and all that. And so, are we going back to the gold cube? Anyway, go ahead.
So that the opposite. Fortnite, the bad cube came first, and then the good cube, which is the blue one.
So
But
the
that was like
blue
3
good
years
cube
ago.
is coming.
That was like
Okay.
3 years ago,
Okay,
back in like 2019.
Ancient history.
long
But-
time ago.
She sent the Herald to come to Chapter 3 map, Season 4. She took like a good chunk of the map, and she started spreading her chrome all over the map.
She's spreading her chrome all over the map,
And
which is like her silver.
yeah, it's silver kind. Most
It
most-
is. Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if this has anything to do with whatever you think,
I don't.
but she brought 2 new weapons where if you damaged a player or a wildlife, there's a bar and an upgrade over time. You wouldn't upgrade it by your gold. You would have to work for it to upgrade.
So if you damaged a player or a
Or-
wildlife, you could not just upgrade. You had to work for the upgrade.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
And
Instant karma. You do bad things and you got to pay
Yeah.
your karmic bill.
Mm-hmm.
and so, like you know where it shows me all my weapons
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom. So back then, when those weapons were in the game, right beside my weapon slot,
Mhm.
right here it was a bar, and it go from green all the way to mythic.
And what color is mythic?
So it would go from green, blue, purple, golden, like a yellow gold,
Mm-hmm.
and then mythic is shiny gold,
Mm-hmm.
which is still in the game, but you'd have to work for the upgrade. You couldn't just buy it.
What's the latest thing, and what are you looking forward to in this season
And so,
right now? What's coming next?
so the Herald might be coming back
The silver.
because a video I sent to
Paul Revere showing up, the Herald, heralding news.
and she's gonna, if she does come back, she's gonna reopen Pandora's box and release all her chrome with it, and revive the hand and everything.
And revive the hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
The unseen hand that works.
Yeah, and that's
Westwood
really,
knows what you're talking about.
that's the really only information I have. But the new season will be Chapter 5 Season 3 will be released March 27th. Or no, May 27th.
I was gonna say once again we're time traveling. Okay.
Yeah.
No, May 27th.
Let's do the time warp.
Yeah,
And so I'm
that's cool.
wondering, I'm hoping it does come back, because even though a lot of people didn't like that season, it was one of my favorite seasons.
Mm.
But I started like the season before that other
Okay.
one. But
This is Cannon Feist reporting
yeah,
for
Reporting live.
Night News.
Fortnite news. That's important though, because
You go get me a piece.
the messaging is everywhere, and the messaging is going to go to the ones that are most open to, let's just call it mythology, whatever it may be. More open to change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You're kind of set in your ways. But to transform that mind, they're going to message through games, through kids' TV shows, and all this stuff that we're kind of unwinding now and looking back and saying, "Oh, holy cow! Didn't realize that was in there." But they're always putting these messages out, so it's important to get that perspective. What they're trying to put into the universe. You know what I mean? What kind of ideas? So I think that's good analysis, Cannon.
yeah.
Mhm.
So in Greek mythology,
He wants to tell one last thing about it.
in Greek mythology, how is their like letters
Oh,
written
good.
out?
Ask them questions. How are the letters written out? What do
Yeah.
you mean?
Like in Greek mythology, how are they written out? Like the symbols.
Are they right to left or up and down?
No, like
Is that what you
how
mean?
are they like shaped? 'Cause,
What's
like,
a different shape? It's almost like a glyph. Like you see hieroglyphs. It's almost like that.
That
I mean,
one
it is
looks
a
like a
letter,
sharp
but it's
E,
different.
like a 3 looks Like an E looks
Because
like a
on the
shark 3.
cubes, they have like different
Strange written.
strange symbols. And remember when the telescope was in chapter
Yeah.
4, season 3?
Yes, and all those
The
symbols.
same. Those are the same symbols that are from the cube.
Interesting.
And you know how the beam was purple was pink?
Yep.
That's the same color as the cubes.
Interesting.
And the eclipse happened in Fortnite, which brought the chapter 4, season 4 heist or eclipse.
Why was it called the heist?
No, eclipsed.
The eclipse. Okay.
And
Rebel needs to go outside.
okay.
But you have to go with her because I'm afraid of the hawks.
Well, I'm not done telling.
Okay, well then let her go out front or ask Charlie to take her.
I mean, I want.
Okay, come tell the rest. Hurry, hurry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A big piosaur bird swoops down and picks up Nana.
Okay, we'll do a whole video, but I'm just telling them, give them the cliff notes on all of it
Okay.
because they don't want to hear all of it right now.
Oh. Midas came back. The guy
Gold.
with golden touch.
Yes.
And I didn't tell you this, but his crew and him are leaving from the island. But his last
And all the underground, or no, the society. Society are bad?
society's bad. The underground is
All
good.
the society was killed and then Hades came to take them.
No,
Yeah, the wolf thing.
that's Cerberus.
Whatever.
And then Hades got Midas trapped all these years in his prison cell.
Isn't that the multi-headed dog that guards Hades, the gates to Hades? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so but Midas and his
Hey, the
crew
ferryman, to get across,
are
what is
leaving.
it?
So Midas and his
Chiron.
crew now are leaving. They're freed and they're leaving.
But they said they're going somewhere.
But you
Going
don't
to Mars.
No one knows.
They're going to Mars.
But
Going to Mars.
the next stop is Spawn Island.
Star War.
And Brutus is packing up the ship.
Hey, too, Brute? You too are packing and leaving?
Brutus.
Yeah, that just happened.
Brutus Beefcake.
Brutus is his right-hand man, his bodyguard.
Okay.
And so, but that's really all that's happening right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to know. Anyway, I think it's interesting. It feels
High
like
five, Cannon. Virtual high five.
some comms in there. Who knows?
There it is.
Who knows? But it's interesting to hear the stories and the similarities of what's going on and all that.
See, that's why Greek mythology is important. If you learn this stuff and then you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. They're applying it here in this game. But I mean, there are so many lessons in Greek mythology because it takes lessons from humanity and
I think
how human beings really are, and it's important stuff.
I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I always liked Greek mythology. I always loved it, actually.
Yeah. I really didn't know that much about it until the season came out.
I mean, there are books out there. Go get them.
Yeah, I only really knew about Zeus and Medusa. That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about I really didn't even know about Hades.
Who cut the head off of Medusa?
I don't know.
Do we know? He used his shield to reflect her head so he didn't look directly in her eye and get turned to
I
stone.
remember that story.
It was Perseus, wasn't it?
Percy, yeah.
With
So he
Pegasus,
had
the horse.
another thing he was telling me about was there's Perseus and then or is it Perseus and Mercedes or what's his name? The one that his wings melted when he got too close to the sun. Icarus. Thank you. And then there's Mercury where he has
Mercury the fast, messenger god.
And there's something about
Quicksilver.
that too. So
That the guy with the wings on his feet might be coming here pretty soon.
Yeah. So the quick messenger might be coming here soon.
And if you guys, I don't know, should we tell about this one? There's a few YouTubers that you can go.
No, we'll just wait. We'll do a special one with just me and you.
Yeah.
This is for happy hour. So that's enough
Yeah.
Fortnite for one happy hour.
But you told me to tell it, so
Yes,
not my fault.
I appreciate it. No, it was good.
Thanks for the info.
It was good. But I think that's enough.
We'll do one like this week.
We'll try if we get your outline done.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
We'll see how it goes.
Nana, you want to come say
All
bye?
right, tell Westwood bye.
Bye, Westwood.
Bye, Cannon. I might see you soon. We'll see.
Nana said bye.
Hi,
And I
Nana.
guess Johnny's not joining us. All right, Westwood, do you have anything else before we go?
Getting ready to wrap this up. So I don't know. Tell us a little bit about the event in 2 weeks. Oh,
Thank
I got
you
my
so
Mighty Mia shirt on that I got in Blanco, Texas from you.
Thank you so much. That's when we met. The first time we
Absolutely.
met. Crazy wildness. So come to
Wild
this
West.
because you never know what wonderful, beautiful soul you might meet. I put a link in the description for tickets. We just did $50 tickets. I think I'm going to do an additional ticket where like you can just be part of the auction for $20 or something, because there's a lot of people that can't travel right now. Things are crazy. I get it, but you may still want to help. You can also just make a donation here on this. There's an option for that. But we would love to see you Saturday, April 20th from 4 to 7 in my little hometown. And then the night before, we're going to be having a meetup downtown Edmond at the rail yard. And Westwood and I will be live they have a bar and an open like picnic area thing where we can kind of have our group meet and do a little freedom meetup. And we'll be, and then on Saturday, we'll be celebrating these wonderful people, Mighty Mia and Share Bear, who was Mia and Cannon's nanny, and all the proceeds or the funds will go to Mighty Miller to help him in his fight. We also have right now, let me see. I created a new T-shirt, which I'm really happy about. The Mighty Hero. Be a hero. You can be a superhero. So
you are a superhero. Wear the shirt to show that you are a superhero.
That's right. So the way I had to set this up is I had to do it for only 2 weeks. And so you only have until April 15th to buy the shirt. They're only $20 a piece.
That's cheap. Get in on that.
Pretty cheap. I tried to think about like, where are we? I know people want to help and be a part of it. I also think it's a great way, get a fun shirt and know you're supporting a family who's, trying to help get their child well. And you can buy as many as you want, or this is also a donate opportunity. Buy or donate here, and you can buy a shirt and be a mighty hero. And it's got our Team Mighty logo on the Superman underneath Kent Clark's jacket, which I was very proud of myself for getting. Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself for that. So I think these are great. They're also red, so you can buy this and wear it every Friday for happy hour.
And you're good.
Remember, everyone deployed. Yes, they won't arrive to you until May 1st. That's just the way Custom Ink kind of has it set up. So I'm sorry about that, but you're still doing the right thing. I'm so happy to have you. Anybody that shows up at I'll have a list of everybody who bought a T-shirt, and if you show up at the Team Mighty event, I'll have an extra little gift for you as well.
You too can get a hug from the lovely Litecoin Lisa.
That's right.
That's your gift.
For sure.
Extra bonus.
Lots of gifts for lots of people helping and doing good things. And
all right, so Lisa, this is a big deal. I've got the plane tickets booked, so
no, I'm proud of you.
They're booked. Long as nothing goes sideways here, that's the plan. We got 2 weeks here. I think everything's going to be fine.
I think the universe takes care of those.
No, I think so. Be traveling in a bubble.
And yeah. And big hearts. And
absolutely. And no, it's exciting. You should come to the Friday night event. We'll do a live happy hour, and those are always great events. And anybody that wants to show up, I'll set you up with a wallet, as I always do, and I will send you Litecoin. I'll show you how easy it is to use a peer-to-peer network to send digital money. Just like the Satoshi white paper said, I will send you a peer-to-peer transaction with some sound money for the digital age, and you will walk away with some Litecoin in your freshly downloaded wallet. Mm-hmm. Teach you how to write down your seed phrase and protect your wealth, be your own bank. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about opting out of a system that robs you of your energy. So let's start using a system that we can control, and I'll teach you how to do that, and I'm happy to do that. And I'll send you a little Litecoin to get you on your way.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. And kind of, I do feel this real draw to small town, bringing it home. you know, what that looks like. And so this isn't going to be a big Oklahoma City thing. If you're coming to the Edmond event, I'm going to be sending you an email with some local hotels that are close. Mitchie just came through, and I think they paid like $60 or something for
nice.
a hotel.
So this is all in Edmond. It's not in Oklahoma City.
It's just in Edmond in my.
Good. That's much better because
and
I've
we're
been
going to be downtown in
good.
the old.
I've been to both, and Edmond I prefer.
Yeah, in the old Bricktown part. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and just kind of keeping it small and keeping it local like we like to. So betting on Main Street, all of that, and giving back to people that are in our immediate circle. This isn't giving to Make-A-Wish Foundation or Red Cross, where they're they allegedly could
the Rosicrucians.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing with all that. This is that little boy, and his mother has worked with me for years, helping kids in foster care and advocating for children in Oklahoma. And now her child is sick and fighting for his life. And it's a way that we can honor Mia's life and celebrate her life and her birthday. And it's a celebration. It's a birthday party. And so it's not anything sad. It's the most wonderful thing to be a part of. And we have a great time. And I appreciate all of you. Daddy-O sending another donation this year. Again, I really appreciate that. If you're interested in sending a donation for the auction, please DM me or on Twitter, or send me an email here at the channel, and let me know if you can help in that way as well. So I'll be
airmailing. It's coming with me.
Yes, thank you.
A 1 ounce silver. This is a donation. My mother and father said, "Hey, you going to Oklahoma City?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know how I'm getting there yet, but I'm flying." But that'll be coming airmail. I'll be bringing that, and you'll be having the pictures posted if you haven't already. But it's a 1 ounce silver rocket. It's a Bitcoin rocket, one of 5,000. And you know what? Lisa will sign it. And if you want me to sign it, I'll sign it too. Yeah. It'll be very unique at that point. That'll be going up for auction.
No, I really appreciate it. It was very thoughtful. Like, I just think about like our sock and our extended family, and it is so much. Some of us have met in the chat only, but we care about each other and lift each other up, and check on each other. Hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. I need to make sure you're okay. What's going on? And that kind of community is what's going to get us through all of this. And so
that's the other side of this. That's the other side of this, to where we have to build this community now to move forward, and instead of depending upon centralization, we have to basically go peer to peer. I mean, that's what we need to do to kind of rebuild this thing and have good relationships, just like we did in the past. That's what built this great nation that builds great societies. It starts at the community. It starts at the clan, and that becomes powerful. And that is what changes the world, changes the future. Having solid people with like-minded people together, and what better time to do it than right now? Quit waiting for things to happen. Quit waiting for the eclipse to signal something. It's like, just start doing it now. Every day, just start doing things like that now. And I think a lot of people in our community do that. They understand that, and we want to expand that community. We want more people who are out there wondering, why is everything broken? What's the solution? And the solution is all of us with our unique skills coming together, knowing each other, so that we can prop each other up and get through this. Is really what it is, as human beings, rather than slaves, because that's what they want to make us. And let's just stop playing in the vampire casino, quit playing with the poker chips, right?
Absolutely. I want to give a shout out. I had invited Johnny Litecoin on, but because we weren't able to meet last night, because my sister came over unexpectedly, and I was so happy to see her. I don't get to see her very much. She's in nursing school and like working her tail off, and so we took a little pass on doing a show last night, and then I invited him tonight, but he has some family stuff going on tonight. So big hugs to Johnny Litecoin. We love our fam, and I'm grateful for all of you guys. So hopefully we'll see you all in Edmond. And
you never know, if you bring an RV, we might go down to the Wachita Mountains or something and hunt some Sasquatches. I don't know, some dog men. I'm along for the ride.
They're saying that that eclipse is going to go right over Lake Worcester, which is where when we moved to Oklahoma, that's kind of the area we were in. And I was like,
Lisa, I don't know. You're like the Forrest Gump of, I don't mean that in a bad
I'm
way. You're like,
telling you, but my
you're like the
parents.
Forrest Gump of the future,
It's
and
not
everything that's happening here.
Yeah, it's my parents though. I've just been drug along like the tail of a comet. My parents are the guiders in my life. So, and I'm grateful for them. So, Papa's leading the way and kept us on the path. So, thank you all for watching tonight, and be good to one another, love one another, and I'll see you guys after the eclipse, I guess. Right?
Yes.
All right.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.